Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today on this for this interview. These podcasts and these interviews are interviews with entrepreneurs that are also members of my community and my membership. And every month, every week, actually, we have challenges that I put to them that they have to complete in order to be part of the giveaway, the monthly giveaway. So whoever wins the monthly giveaway and produces all of their homeworks, they end up, part of the prizes and the perks is getting an interview like this, and where they're able to talk about the program, but also talk about what they do and their offers. And then I push that out to all my social media. So it's a great way for giving them visibility. And it's a great way for letting people know a little bit more about my program. If you don't know who I am and you're new to this environment, you're new to my channel, my name is Claude. I am a monetization specialist and an online business coach. And what I do is I help aspiring entrepreneurs monetize either their knowledge, their expertise, a passion, a skill, an idea, whatever they want to do. And the great thing about the program that I have is that it is not one size fit all. It's not one program. It's basically people coming in, they get an assessment, a personalized assessment that gives them a total roadmap and blueprint of what they're going to be doing with me for the next 12 months, building their business, their project, or whatever. So every week there's a weekly coaching session where all of my members come in with all kinds of questions about where they're at in their blueprint, and we move them along every week. And I give them tools and strategies and all kinds of things. And I also have the leaderboard, which is where they do the challenges on a weekly basis. It creates a little bit of competition, and it helps them absorb the training by putting it into good use. So today, the person that we're going to be talking to is Mary Louise Rose. She is a life coach, a health and wellness coach. She's amazing, and she's done a great job at winning the monthly challenge for, I think it was December. So we will be talking with her, and without further ado, here is Mary Louise.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
So happy to be here. Excited
Welcome,
to
welcome,
share.
welcome. Yeah. Well, why don't let's start first with you telling us a little bit about you, what you do, and then we'll get into the questions for the interview.
All right. So I am Mary Louise Rose. I do go by both Mary Louise, both names. I am a certified health and life coach, and I also have Reiki certification. I have aromatherapy certification through doTERRA essential oils. I have a yoga certification, and I use all of that to help support the work that I do with my coaching clients. And so I offer holistic health coaching to my clients. We look at nutrition, how you're eating, what you're eating. We look at exercise, movement, whatever you want to call it, and how you're moving your body, mobility, and being able to move well at all stages in life, and also the mindset, stress levels, mental health, and how you're thinking and how you're putting yourself out into the world, and also what you're absorbing. It's been interesting lately, people talk about diet, and it's not just the food you eat, it's what you absorb, what's around you. And so we dive into that with mindset. And so it's a great opportunity to work with my clients on holistic, the whole picture. And then the cool thing too is it runs into their family and their friends and those around
Yeah,
them, because they
yeah.
see those changes and what they're doing and how they're living a better life. And so it rolls into the rest of the other areas of their life as well. So it's a cool experience to get to help people and simplify it and make it easy.
There's a magic word, easy. Because everything is, it's not that things are hard, but everything is so distracting. There's so much chaos in a day, and we don't even realize it anymore. That I love the fact that you've combined the minds, the spirit, the body, the soul, and the physicality, but also the, the mindset, because sometimes you can have all the good intentions, but your mindset is wrong and you're self-sabotaging yourself on a constant basis. And that's what destroys your will or your inspiration to actually even get to that level of wellness that you want, right?
Yes, and there's so much information out there, and people come to me when they're overwhelmed and they're like, I don't know what to do. They're hearing this and then they're hearing that, the conflicts, and they see your friends going to a gym and they don't want to go to a gym, but they feel like they should be. And so it's nice to be able to help simplify it and just make it easy and show them how they can enjoy getting healthy.
I think a lot more people are turning to coaches and mentors in regards to, I want to trust someone who will do the heavy lifting for me. And then if I trust them, they will tell me what to do and they'll hold me by the hand, and I won't have to think about research and trying to pull the pieces together that are customized for me. Because I think more and more now people are looking for customization. They
Yes,
want things to
nobody.
reflect where they're at in their lives, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to do it on their own. And when you have that accountability and that support, you're not having to go it by yourself. And when you run into like roadblocks or struggles, you have that mentor, that coach there to say, okay, well, that didn't work, but what about that? Or help you brainstorm other ideas. And because we're all unique, and it's interesting because we try to do what other people do and what works for other people, but we're all unique and different. And so that's not necessarily going to work for us, but we want it to, we think it
Yes.
should. And then we feel bad when it doesn't. But that's, again, like you said, where the mentor or the coach comes in to say, okay, well, let's look at you. Let's figure out what
Yeah.
works for you.
Yeah. I think that's really, really important. I'm
Yeah.
just putting here, I'm just going to put, we have some, just give me one sec. I'm just looking at the comments here. We have some people coming in already. I've got Jane. Hello, Jane. I've got Marek. Marek's here with us. That's awesome. He's another member. Thank you for being here. Awesome. That's what I love about our little community. They're very supportive and they show up
Yes.
for us, right? Okay, well, let's start the little interviews, and let me ask you a couple of questions. Let me pretend I'm an interviewer there for a minute. Okay, so let's start with looking back when you first started as an entrepreneur a long, long time ago. What was one piece of advice that you give to people out there about entrepreneurship?
Well, and we touched on it a little bit about like how it can be lonely. And so it's important to have a community. It's important to surround yourself with people that are on a similar journey to
Yeah,
help you know that you're not alone and to help you when you get stuck. Similarly to what we were talking about with, hiring that coach to help you on your health journey. The same thing with getting yourself in a community so that you can see where others have success and you can keep the faith, but then also you can help support others where they are struggling where you've been, and be able to say, you're going to get through this, or have you tried this, have you tried that? And so it's really helpful to be able to have that community to support you on when you're up on a high and you're having a success, and two, when you're low and you're struggling and you're having a challenge and you feel like, well, that didn't work and that didn't work, so now what do I do, what do I try?
yeah,
And
yeah.
keep you from like throwing in the towel or really getting backed into that corner and struggling. It helps to get you moving forward again.
What I see with all of my coaching clients on a regular basis is that when they start the entrepreneurship journey, they go from having a career or having a regular 9 to 5 job or something like that. What happens is they get this resistance from their family, their spouse, their kids, and then they start feeling guilty because they were so available and now they're not so available, and they're trying to create something for themselves or for a legacy, something that's going to be for their children even, but they don't get the support because they feel like their family or their friends or whatever are seeing them evolve and grow, and they're going to be left behind. That's a big fear I always see. So I feel like having a support system or having a couple of people on your journey, the same journey as you, they act as that support system, but also act as your cheerleaders and like, yes, you can do this. And yes, you shouldn't feel guilty. And yes, you can, you can go on this journey and you can create something on your own, and don't listen to everything else. It doesn't matter. And to also distance that so that you can keep that relationship with your spouse and your family and your friends intact, where you don't have to speak about what you're doing, but then you have that community that you can get excited and brainstorm together. So I think that's a huge thing. It was for me anyway.
And that community gets you, unlike that family or friend is going to, especially if they're in a 40-hour week, 9-to-5 job. They don't get what the solo entrepreneur is going through and how the days are. Like you said, when you're starting out, there is a lot of like blinders on work and focus and building that, and a lot of decisions you have to make on how you want to build it and what that looks like for you. And again, that's where somebody that is in a 9-to-5 and being told what to do every day, all day, they don't understand.
No, I get it. So can you share a specific moment or turning point during your time in this program or the membership that we're talking about, the passions to profits? I had a brain fart. It's not big enough behind me, right? We're talking about the Passions to Profit membership, the monthly membership. So can you share a specific moment or turning point during the time in the program that really changed your perspective or approach to your business and made you feel like you were turning a major corner?
There have been multiple times, but the one that most stands out, and because it's the most recent, probably would be just this past week. Coming out of the holidays, there's a lot of extra family. I have a child in college, and so she was home on winter break. My stepson was here. It was his week to be with us, and I'm now caring for my mother. And so just had a house full of people. Things happened because
Out
there
of
was a
your
house full
routine.
of people. Exactly. And just the stress, the personal stress, plus then with my business, the lull of the holidays, and just kind of, okay, how do I get my footing back and get that footing for 2024 going forward? And just kind of that, like, my energy, instead of being here and being whole and settled and calm and holistic, it was spread out like all over the place. And I came to our call and just, admitted that I need help. I need to get the blinders back on, to get my feet back on the ground, to feel productive and positive in my business. When I knew the personal stuff would settle, but it was just like, okay, this is an area that I can control, and help me get the control back. And I am a control person. I am a routine, a procedure. And so it was just like that. Okay, I need the lifeline. I need to be thrown the life
I need to call a
preserver
friend.
and help me settle myself and get back on track. And that's exactly what happened. And we talked about the competition from December, and that was creating the content workbook. And I had spent the time to create that and was like, okay, I'm ready to use that and go to the next step. And so you were so wonderful about saying, okay, you have that. Now this is the next step. And we talked through what that looked like and how to make that happen. And fortunately, I had the time immediately after the call, and I went and I made that happen. I sat down at the computer for probably totaled 4 hours, and I got 50 weeks for the rest of the calendar year content outlined and ready. And I was able to go to bed that night and go, okay, I have a
Right?
plan. I am, structured again. Everything that was out here was able to come back in, and I was able to go to bed and go, okay, I'm good. I have that peace. I have that calm. It is restored.
You felt in control again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love that story. What's one strategy or lesson you learned from the program that you've successfully implemented in your business, and how will it make a difference?
In addition to the workbook and what I now have laid out, I would say it's just the focus on one step at a time, one project at a time, and having the framework of this is where I want to be and this is where I want to get, but this is the steps to take to get there, one step at a time, one week at a time, one project at a time.
One
And
task at a
just
time.
knowing, yeah, and having that map and just knowing this is the road that I'm on, and I'm not going to get to the finish line tomorrow, but I'm making progress in that direction. I'm making steps in that direction. And it's okay if along the journey things pivot because this feels better or that feels best.
Yeah, yeah.
But just knowing that I have that map and I have that direction that I'm headed
Right.
is just amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's like when you're on a trip and you prepare and you have you mapped out your trip, but then you get to a detour, right? Are you just going to sit there and go, I'm not doing it. I'm not going, right? Like the guy in, I love that. I know every time I say that, I think of the Wolf of Wall Street when the cap is like, I'm not going. Sorry, had a squirrel moment there. But it's like that. You're on a trip and you've planned it out and you know where you're gonna stop and you've got it all, you're all like relaxed, and all of a sudden there's a roadblock, right?
Or there's
So
a
you're gonna
flat
sit
tire.
there, right? Are you gonna sit there and go, oh my God, I ruined my trip? No, you adapt. And I think that's how you have to look at this journey, is that it isn't a punch in, punch out kind of life anymore. It's a mixture and an intertwine of your personal and professional development. So being an entrepreneur is not just a career. It's not just a job. It's not just a business, because as you grow professionally, it's obvious that it affects you personally. You become more confident, you become more knowledgeable, more centered, more focused. So your professional affects your personal, and your personal therefore affects your professional, because as you become more confident in yourself, you show up differently for your profession. So being an entrepreneur is a more complete growth and evolution than I think most people, 9 to 5 clickers, or people that have that kind of life. And that's what they're afraid of, because a lot of people don't like to look inward and they're like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to change. My life is good. That's a static growth, static mindset. And an entrepreneur is automatically a growth mindset type of person. They want to grow, they want to learn, they want to expand. Marek says, well done for using the tool to plan your content for 24 in 4 hours. Yes, that deserves a congrats on that. That's a pretty amazing feat. And then she sends me a message saying, now that I've done that, now I'm going to add this and I'm going to add that. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like 5 hours ago, she was ready to jump off the cliff, and look at her now. See? So, I mean, it's always a temporary thing, that overwhelm or that. And I always say that overwhelm, self-sabotage, self-doubt, all that crap is temporary. Don't deny it. Let it come in, let it do its thing. It's like, an old uncle that comes to visit that you see once a year at Christmas time that you have to bear, but they're going to leave. Right? So the emotions are going to go. So when you're stuck, just a little parentheses, when you are stuck in that predicament of overwhelm and you're feeling like this hurricane within brewing, focus on action. Just move through it and say, you know what? I accept that I'm self-sabotaging right now, and I'm anxious, and I'm self-doubting, but I have a list of things to do, and I'm going to keep busy doing those things while this is happening. So that at least you get at the end of that and you feel like you've accomplished something. You didn't sit there on the sideline going, poor me and whatever and all that stuff, right? Because now that I'm your coach, I'm not a coddler, right?
Right. Exactly.
I'm massive action. It's like, okay, I'm going to let you vent and we'll have we'll have a little pity party together for about 5 minutes. But then we're moving on. We're moving on to massive action. We're getting shit done, right?
Yes. And that's a lot of my personality. And it's nice to have that mentor that is similar to say, okay, that happened, crap happened.
Yeah.
But now what are we going to do? How are we going to progress forward? And I wanted to speak a little bit to what you said about like the evolution of the
Yep.
entrepreneur. And it's interesting because like this started for me because I was in my mid 30s. I had a daughter that was then in like middle school, and I wanted to make a focus on my health. And so this was how that got started, or that's how this got started. And it's interesting because, like I said, now, my mother is living with me and I'm helping care for her. And that has led to the evolution of my attention and focus to also be on the retired professional and being able to help her, support herself and figure out her health and movement and, all of the things. And so it's cool to see that as we evolve, we add things. My yoga's been added since I got started, the Reiki and the aromatherapy with the essential oils. And that's all been added for me as I've continued to grow and learn and evolve and, learn what resonates with me and what I want that client to be able to have, access to and information from me on to make them the best version of themselves and to make this journey the easiest that it can be. So when you were talking about the evolution, it's so true. And I
Right.
continue to be amazed as things happen. And it's like, wow, this has happened to me. Therefore, this was brought into my business and to be able to help others. So it's cool too, because then it's not just for you. It gets to be shared with the world and those that you interact with. And you get to pass that information on and make other people's lives that much better.
And I think that's a big point there, is that as you go through your transformation and your evolution, that becomes the blueprint of the transformation that you then turn around and offer others, right? And it's a lot easier to be able to speak to that, because I see a lot of people online, especially on TikTok, with this I don't call that entrepreneurship, when they're buying a course to sell the course and make money because it's a master resale rights, and they're not even doing the course. They're taking the course, they're turning around, they're selling the course, they're making a couple of bucks, and all of a sudden they're in business. And I feel like, okay, but that's not entrepreneurship, because the core, I believe, the core of being an entrepreneur is helping others and bringing value into other people's lives. And until you go through the transformation and you go through all of that, you can't really reciprocate or create a transformation for someone else. I mean, I'm not knocking them down if they want to make a couple of bucks on the side, but I call that side hustles. I call that, something, but it's not a business. What we're doing is creating a lifelong, scalable business that really brings value and creates those relationships in your business that are long term. They're not in and out of your lives. These people hang on to dear life and with you. And the more they know you and the more transformation they go with you, the harder they bond, the deeper they bond to you, because then you become their lifeline. Then it's like,
And
oh my
it's
God, I've transformed into this person because of you. I don't want to let you go. What else can you offer me?
right. And it's like, within the name of your offering, it's about the passion. It's about the heart. It's what really matters to you as the entrepreneur that can then be shared to the world.
And I'm going to actually push that a little more, because when I did start, I'm a very passionate person, but along the way, I've gone through an evolution. And I would say in the last year, that passion has turned to purpose. So I could even call this purpose to profits, because passions have a way of coming in and out of your life, and sometimes they dwindle. Whereas a purpose, I feel like there's a stronger foundation to that, because a purpose really fulfills this void inside you of being seen, heard, knowing that your imprint on the world is true. That is purpose, and that is deeper, I find, than passion sometimes. It'll take you through the hard days. Like, like when I show up and I'm super sick at the coaching session, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm medicated right now. I'm here. But I'm not sure, how good this is going to be, but I'm here. Right? There's no way that I would sit in my bed and go, I'm too sick to show up for them, because of that purpose. Because I know that if somebody shows up for me, I've got to be there. I'll be sick tomorrow. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? I lose it on site. But the purpose, if it was just a passion, I might not, right? I might say, eh. But I know, like, since I started January 1st, 2023, I've consistently sent my messages every morning, and I've consistently showed up to all of my sessions for the entire year up until now. There's a stream, right? There's a streak, and I'm not breaking it. But that's purpose, I think. I don't like, it's more than passion. So I think when we connect to what we do, if we have a purpose behind it, like a really why what we're doing, I think that's deeper. And especially when you help people like you, this is a really deep purpose, because you can change lives. You can make them healthier. You can make them healthier up here. You can make them happier. You can bring more joy in their lives, which will affect, like we just said, it has a ripple effect on everyone in their world. So it's changing lives.
Yeah, and I love what you said about the why. And then, it's the why under the why. Like for me with health coaching, so often it's they want to lose X number of pounds, but it's not until they tie in and connect with that deeper why. Is it to be able to play with their kids and not be winded, and so they can feel like they're energetic? Or
Yeah.
is it because she wants to feel sexy when she's having intimate time with her mate? And, it's so much more than just the weight loss. And then, within that, there's the mental piece as well. It's like, okay, why is that? And so, yeah, it's interesting on so many levels, that why that motivates us, and it's going to
Absolutely.
keep us going when we have those challenges and those struggle moments, even in entrepreneur, or for me with my clients and their health journey. And
Yeah.
when life happens, when things come up,
Yeah.
and keeping you progressing forward. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I really wouldn't. Like, I just love it. I'm a maniac serial entrepreneur. Like, I would die. I would die if I couldn't do this. I just shrivel up like an old, a 16-day rose. I just I'd be bored out of my skin. Like, I'm a workaholic for sure, but it's because I'm so passionate about what I do. I love what I do. So, I mean, is that a disease? Maybe, but for me, it's a good one because it makes me happy. So whatever makes you happy in life should be okay. Right?
And that's how you know when it's your purpose, if it
Right?
makes you
I
happy and
know.
fulfilled and something worth pursuing.
I say that because, and I say that to my husband sometimes, like the last time I was really sick and I told you guys I was like feeling like so crappy. But after the session, I came upstairs and he had prepared dinner for me, and I was like bouncing off the walls with energy. And I said that, he goes, I thought, like, when I saw you going downstairs, you looked half dead. And I said, you see, that's when you know that you're doing what you're meant to do. Because yes, I did feel like that, and I had a fever and I felt like crap. The last thing I want to do is try to bring my brain into the gear. But afterwards, I was busting with energy. I was glowing. It was just like, oh my God. So it does something to your body. Your body reacts. And makes you feel, really good about what you're doing. So that turns into God knows what in your body, but it makes you feel good, because I felt really terrific. So since we're talking about inspiration, can you name a book perhaps that you've come across in your entrepreneurial journey that really had an impact on you? And can you tell me some of the takeaways from that book that you could share with us and everybody who's watching, whoever's watching?
The one that I would say most stands out to me is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I'm sure you have it. And it's
Have I read it?
because,
No.
oh, that's funny.
Have
While
I
you're
read it?
working, you should at
No.
least listen to it.
Okay, well, that's it. I'm putting it there. That's my book for the month.
There you go. And one of the things that I most go to from that one is habit stacking. And it's where, and I use it with my clients too, because it is so successful. It's where you take a habit that you're already doing and you add on something that you want to do, something that you want to add on. Like, let's say you want to meditate every night before you go to bed. Well, let's say you already brush your teeth before you go to bed. So you decide that after you brush your teeth, you're going to meditate. So then the trigger or the reminder for you becomes, I'm brushing my teeth. Okay, next I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to go to bed. And so I use that so often because when you already have those habits and that routine in the morning, in the evening, maybe at lunchtime, when you already have that habit or that routine going, it's so easy to add something on and make that whatever is already automatic, whatever is already routine, to make that then automatic, routine, something that you're always doing because you have that regular trigger for yourself to go, okay, I'm brushing my teeth, next is to meditate and then go to bed. So that I would say
So
has been my favorite
it
book.
instills some sort of discipline, which is like a dirty word in my life. I suck. I've never been able to have discipline in my life, and I've always wanted it. So do you think that I should I should definitely read this book, right? I mean, there's
Yes. And I'm
something made me buy it. I don't know if it was the glitzy look of it, like Atomic Habits, tiny changes, remarkable results. Probably that's what attracted me to it, but I've had it probably since last Christmas, and I haven't opened it yet. So why should I read it?
because you want to make those new habits and you want to improve your life. And I will add the way that I have learned for me to best comprehend and read, because I do a lot of personal development. So it's not just pleasure reading where it doesn't matter if I remember what I've read or, what stood out to me. And so
Yeah.
what I do is I have the book, the paper, the hard copy. I have the book on Audible or, wherever it's like the book on tape type of thing. And I have a notebook with me that I can make notes of things, that key points, things that stick out to me. So when I sit down to read in the evening before bed, I have my book, I have my phone with it on Audible, and then I have my notebook and my pen. And when something stands out to me, I'll hit pause, I'll write it down in my notebook. And so then that way it's the visual, it's the audible,
You're
audio in your
immersing all of
ear.
your senses.
Yes, yes. And then by writing it, then it better sticks in my memory as well. And what I've started deciding to do as well is then once it's in my notebook, I want to take it out of the notebook and put it in the book so that when I want to reference back to what were the key points of that book, I go to that book, my notebook paper is in there, and then I have those key references, key sources of things that stood out to me when I read it.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of the process that I do to read. And for this year, I've added the goal of reading 2 or more books a month. So with that, it's like, okay, the first book, I want to have read it by the 15th of the month. And I'm almost done with the book I'm reading now. So I'm close to keeping that goal.
I'm
But
cheating.
within the first half of the month, read the first book, and then the second half of the month, read the second book. And if I finish ahead of time, great. I can go ahead and start the next book. But yeah, so that's how I read and kind of a goal that I've given for myself this year, because I'm also not the best about completing books. So with this goal is the way to be able to get it to the very end and finish it.
I'm cheating. So what I'm doing, because I don't know if you know, I have a huge library in my office. Huge. If I'm addicted, I'm the woman who doesn't really shop. I don't have a gazillion pairs of shoes. I'm not that kind of woman, but I'm obsessed with books. Like, a reward for me is going to like the bookstore and spending the day going through books. I just love books. I love to touch them. I love to read them, but I don't have a lot of time, but I love to have the knowledge. I'm a junkie for knowledge. So I went on ChatGPT the other day. My
How am
best
I
friend
not
in the whole wide
surprised?
world. I love that little guy. And I basically thought to myself, how could I cheat? How could I read a book without reading a book? And then something popped in my head, Cole's Notes. And then I thought, Cole's Notes are a summarization of key takeaways of a big book, right? So I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I asked ChatGPT, So I took a couple of books and I said, ChatGPT, act as blah, 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 and summarize the book, this particular book by this person. Give me the top key takeaways from the book. Explain to me in detail what the tasks or actions inside the book, exercises that I could put into use. Anyways, it's this big, but it started spitting that on me. So now I put a binder together of all my books. And now all I do is I just read the Cole's Notes and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that today, right? So maybe I'll do that with this one.
There you go. And you'll have to let me know what you find out, what it says.
I'll let you know, and I'll give you the ChatGPT prompt that you can use for your books. I just love it. Right. I know I love reading, but so we have James Dean. James Dean's a good friend of mine. Hi, nice to see you. Nice to welcome to the show. And he says that I have Blinkist, Blinkist app. So I have a feeling that is either an audiobook kind of thing or a summarization app. Let me know what that is in the comments. So, okay, I'm definitely doing that for that because I have lots of bad habits I'm trying to get rid of. So that could help.
Yes. It's a great book.
Right? Okay, I'm doing it. In the last 4 months, what's the biggest lesson you've learned either personally or professionally? And how has it shaped your approach to business?
Last 4 months. I would say it's not trying to change who you are because of those around you, and like listening to what feels right for you or me in this situation. And
authentic to yourself.
Yeah, and just remembering that, what feels good to me and what feels right to me is what I'm meant to be doing. And it doesn't matter what other people are doing or what is successful for someone else, that I get to listen to that like inner knowing, that inner intuition of, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the direction I'm supposed to be heading. And because there is so much noise, kind of like we talked about within the health industry, within the entrepreneur industry, and then just in life, there's so much noise. There's so much that like we were even taught growing up. And it's like that moment in life of, okay, let me stop and kind of think for myself. And what do I feel? What do I believe? What do I, what resonates with me and feels good? And follow that. And within that, you're going to go so much further. And I'm still a work in progress, of course, but that has helped tremendously to just kind of go, okay, what feels good for me? What resonates,
Yeah, nobody wants a copy of somebody else, right?
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
I always say to people, stop comparing, like, because you have no idea what that person is going through. Because sometimes, and especially I have a financial background and I worked in finance for a good 20 years. And I saw how people actually live because I was the one collecting and I was the one repossessing. So, the big house and the Mercedes in the driveway and the RV in the back and all that, sometimes, you don't understand that all of that is to fulfill something deeper. And all of that is leased or borrowed, or, you know what I mean? How people represent themselves is not always something to be copied or to be,
Yes.
looked up to. I think if you really want to be you and be genuine in serving others, and I don't mean that in a Bible thumping way, although I believe in God. When I say that, I don't mean that. I don't mean that, it's not that. Serving others, adding value. Like if you jump into a conversation, add value. If you're jumping into a career or a partnership, or you have a lot of men that go into partnerships or women that go into partnerships, and it's all about, well, he should have been done this and he should have done this for me, and how about, what do you do for him, or what do you do for her, or like, what are you giving? And when did we become a society where we don't give unless something's given first? Right?
Right.
Like, how about you give and you give and you give, and whatever comes is meant to come. But give because you want to give. Don't give because you think you deserve something back. Just give for the beautiful purpose of giving, because you have to give. Right?
Right.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
went on again. Squirrel.
Don't.
Went on a tangent.
Yes, I agree. And just, yeah, be the
Just be
best,
you.
most authentic version of yourself. Yes.
I like that. Okay, during the challenges, what was the most fun or enjoyable task for you, and why? You like
I
my
would
little leaderboard?
say I would say for me, it's a month-long challenge, but it's broken down into week to week.
Mhm.
And then within the week, there are like different sections. And as you've mentioned, you embrace and utilize ChatGPT. So it's also using technology and letting it work for you and getting out of that stuckness, that overwhelm, and using the tools and the technology that's out there that can help you get the job done that much faster. And it's not, I'm going to use ChatGPT and just copy and paste. It's, I'm going to use ChatGPT to help get ideas, to help get a framework, to help, get that
Do the heavy
progressing
lifting.
forward. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so that I would say has, we have our own, with the weekly coaching, we have our own goals and our own things that we're working towards. And so the monthly challenge is over and above, but that's also getting things done in our business. Like I said, the workbook for the content creation, and, within that, it was, what is my avatar? What is my mission? What is my ideal customer journey? And so there's so much within it that then contributes to the business. It's not, it all works together really beautifully. And so that's what I would say would be those challenges, that it's monthly, then it's weekly, then it's activity, and it all feeds into the business and gets things moving forward.
It makes you not just absorb the information and the training, but it makes you put it into use. And when you put it into use, it absorbs at a deeper level within you, right?
It's that
So I
taking
think
action. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, right? How has being a part of the membership community influenced your business decisions and strategies?
The community has been great because we're all in different areas of interest and doing different things, but yet we have this community feel. We have this connection. We have this bond, if you will, and we're supporting one another. And even like within the challenges, we're all wanting to be the winner in the end and get the prize. But yet we're
But
all
you're still
supporting
supporting
and,
each other. I see the
yes,
comment.
supporting and cheering one another. It's like,
Yeah.
we all want each other to do the work to get the stuff done, because we know that it's not just competition and bragging rights. It's getting something progressing in your business. It's getting
Yeah.
out of that stuck place.
Yeah.
And so it's truly a business. It's a community, and we are cheering for one another, and that's so great. And it's nice to be in that environment in a world that can be, depending on the people you surround yourself with, it's a world that can be very manipulating and backstabbing, and people climbing on top of the other person because they want to get to the top first.
Yeah.
And so that the community is not that way, and it's beautiful, and it just, it's nice to feel like people are friends, but they're like half a world away,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, you
Especially in
get
this one.
them.
We've got everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got people in Australia, we've got people in the UK, we've got people in the States, we've got people here. It's like it's crazy sometimes when they show up and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for them. I'm like, what are you doing here? And they're like, well, I'm here. I'm
Didn't
always
wanna miss.
impressed by that. It's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I really love it. And I love seeing, like I see the wanting that competitiveness during the challenges, and everybody's saying, like, they'll come to me and they'll message me and they'll say, hey, I want to win. So I'm happy that, this person hasn't submitted it yet, because I want to win this one. But at the same time, when one of you is lagging behind, I saw you all rally and go, hey, it's all good. We're all here. We're all like, it's just, sometimes I'm sitting at the TV and I'm looking at you guys' comments, and I'm looking at my husband, and I swear to God, I get teary-eyed because I'm just so happy that I've created a place where people give a crap about each other. It's so not the world we live in right now. So to have created a little cocoon where, like, I that's what I called it at the beginning when I first thought about doing this. I called it a safe haven for entrepreneurs. And it feels like I've succeeded in creating that, because people are genuinely caring and they're genuinely involved in each other's success, which is what I wanted. I wanted people to gather around each other without my intervention. And that's what's happening. And right?
Well, and it's like you were talking about with the competitiveness, and with December, it was me and one other person that were like neck and neck of getting all the weeks done. And the funniest thing was, on December 31st, I think it was like 8 p.m. Eastern, the other person, mine was all done and turned in. And so I knew, I was like, okay, I've got about 4 checks for the 4 weeks. And the other person that I was competing against, if you will, it was like 8 p.m. and on December 31st, and he was turning his in. And instead of like being angry and like that, there's my competition, I was excited for him, and I was like, great, I'm so happy that he got this done, because I knew what it meant for me to have that done and ready and looking forward to 24, that I knew that he would also then be able to have that content ready and, have that framework. And so it's funny because, yeah, we were competing for the prize, but yet I was happy and not,
but the funny thing
angry,
is that he texted me, because for those who are listening, my membership comes with also a messenger type feature where each of my members have a direct connection to text me at any time. So December 3rd, New Year's Eve. I mean, you're thinking other people have stuff to do. New Year's Eve, I've got you guys send me text. Okay, here's this, here's that. And he said at the end, when he submitted his, he said, listen, because I said, oh, you've got competition this month. And he said, listen, if you pull my name out of the hat, I'm going to give it to her because she hasn't won yet. And I was like, I turned to my husband and like, seriously, they're like, right? They're like family. These are not like my kids. It's like, I felt so sweet that he had done the work. He could have won, but he said, if I win, I'm giving it to her because I want her to win. So I just thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, and
you ended
that
up
says a
winning
lot
on your own,
too.
though.
Yeah, and that says a lot too for like who you have called into the community. You know, we are all supportive and encouraging of one another. We're not that like cutthroat, I want to win at all costs, and we do
That's
celebrate
not
one
what I'm
another.
about,
And so it's the people that you've been able through
to
your
bring in.
energy and what you
Yeah.
put out there to be able to call in and have in that space, and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing, and
Right?
I'm so
Yeah.
grateful that I decided to say yes to the opportunity to be part of the group and to be in that community.
I just feel like I created this, and I just feel like whoever's meant to come in will come in. You know what I mean? I'm not pushing ads. I haven't been doing that. I just have a feeling of whoever needs this, the universe will kind of bring them into our world, and we'll be able to help them. So it's not, and I don't want a huge, million community. No, I'm okay with, one at a time. Everybody kind of like, I like the personal touch of being involved with people. So, oh, I'm sorry, Marek. I said the UK, and it's from Poland. Sorry. He's slapping me around right now. Poland. It's Poland. But maybe at some point we'll have somebody from the UK. But I'm geographically challenged anyway, so don't even take that from me. Um, okay, YouTube works good and works great. Well, that's good. Somebody had to tell me that's working good. Thank you. Awesome. So what was something unexpected or surprising that you gained from participating in this program? So what was something that, surprised you, um, as you now have a few months in? Um, did something surprise you, or did something come up and you go like, wow, that's cool, or not so cool? I'm okay with both.
Um,
Always room for
you know,
improvement.
what immediately came to mind, and we've touched on it, is the community. I've been part of other group programs that haven't had that sense of community. And so that has been amazing and surprising. And just because I am a detail, process, routine person, it's been a wonderful, surprising to have like your accountability and the framework that you give us that says, okay, this is the map, like we talked about earlier,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
is the steps that you're going to take to get there. And you keep us accountable with the weekly coaching sessions, and then in the messenger, we can reach out to you if we have questions or challenges between the coaching calls. And it's just so nice to, like, if we're willing to do the work, you're there to push us. If we're not doing the work and we're taking our foot off the gas pedal, you're like, okay, fine. Like, you meet us where we are. And so I would say for me, that's been the nicest part of, okay, if you're showing up, if you're doing the work, I'm going to help you progress on this map to getting to where it is that you want to be, and adding
Mm.
in the aspects and the pieces and doing the things that I feel that you feel like will help us. And so, and I haven't had that. I've had a lot of mentors, coaches that have been more on the feminine side, and like, oh, whatever you feel, and how whatever comes up, and it doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't feel good to me. I need structure. I need that routine. And so I would say that's what's been really good for me, is the similar personalities of, okay, this is where you want to go, and I'm going to help get you there, but you've got to take the action. You've got to show up and do the work, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I would say, having had experience otherwise in other memberships and situations, I would say that's been, in addition to the community, I would say that's been the best part for me of, okay, we're going to link arms and I'm going to help lead you, but you're going to have to take steps. You're going to have to take action too. So
I
that's
see
what I would
myself
say.
more like, when I think of myself, I see myself more as that big bulk, that big bear looking coach on the football field who taps the asses of the football players as they go, but gives them shit for not doing what they're supposed to do. Right. And I heard one guy once, one coach says, I'm a coach on the field and off the field because I've got to create men for the community, for the family. I have to make sure that these people are well raised. So in his mind, he was teaching them a game, but he was also influencing their game of life. So to me, that's how I kind of see myself. I'm on the sideline. I'm watching you play the game. I'm going to tell you when I think you're not playing it well, but I'm also going to support you when you fall on your ass and you want somebody to pick you back up, but I'm not going to coddle you. I don't coddle. I don't play feelings. I'm going to say, this is your ego talking and you can tell me what you want. I don't care. Because a lot of coaches are more lenient because they don't want to lose the client. They don't want to lose that 500, 600, 1,000, 1,500 a month, right? So they're like, okay, well, you didn't want to do it. It's all right. We'll talk about it next week. No, I don't need the money. So to me, it's more about, I want success stories. I want you to become this big freaking thing that I can say, I had a very small part in that. That's my ego talking right there. I want to see that. So I'm more interested in pushing. I'm more, because I know that massive action create massive results. I mean, it's just freaking common sense. If you do something, there's an action, there's a reaction. But if you don't do anything, then there's nothing. So like that time that we were talking about a while ago, I could see in your face your overwhelm. I could see your anxiety. I could see the life sapping off from you. But at the same time, I said, if I encourage that, she'll move further and further into that. So that's why I kept making fun. But at the same time, I said, okay, whatever, but you still need to do it. And I'm going to expect the link at the end of the day. Right? And I was super happy because at the end of the night, it was like 10:30 or 11. I get a text from you saying it's done and I'm happy it's done. So your whole demeanor had changed. Your whole confidence has changed. All those feelings, your icky feelings were gone. And that's what action does. It removes that. It's not about denying your feelings of fear. It's about moving through the fear anyway. And just saying, okay, fear, you're here, all right, but I'm going to go over there and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. We'll meet up a little later and we'll talk again, right? So it's kind of like, I kind of see it like that. I externalize things like that. So I get here, who's doing this? What's the benefits from the tools you have for the membership? Well, that's a loaded question. We have ebooks, we have all kinds of audio files, we have the weekly challenges, we have the weekly coaching. And I want to tell people, because people are used to being part of a program, and then they go into that program and they talk about that program. And the weekly coaching is about that program. This isn't it, guys. These guys come at me with all kinds of things every week. So the coaching is about what you're doing. So one person could be starting a blog and monetizing that blog through affiliate links. Another person like you is doing wellness coaching and wants to develop their coaching business. Another person is an artist and wants to monetize their artistry, and that's what they're doing. Another one is doing digital marketing. And so everyone has a customized blueprint and a plan that we've designed at the beginning of their relationship, at the beginning of their membership. And every week they come in with where they're at, what they've done in the past week, and what they're supposed to do in the next week. That's what's happening. That's what this membership is about. It's passions to profits. So it's not one passion, it's a multitude of passion. And I think that works with my ADD and my craziness, because I think I get bored if it was the same thing over and over again. So every week when you guys come in, one person's going to ask about email marketing. Another person's going to ask about, content. Another person's going to ask about, well, how do I, sell, or how do I create my offer? So it's different for everyone. It's very customized to that person, but you benefit from all those questions because even though you are all in different industries and niches, business is business. Every one of you has to do email marketing. Every one of you has to build content. Every one of you has to build offers. So it doesn't really matter. I think the structure and all the elements of that business development is the same for all of you. It's just different little tweaks in that. So I hope that answers a little bit your question, but there's a lot of benefits. Just join. Just kidding. Coming in and see for yourself. You get access. Oh, I forgot. You get access to all the tools that are in there, but you also get access to all the programs that we've done. So we have tutorial, like an ongoing tutorial program where I go in and do all kinds of tutorials. I just launched the Mastering AI for Entrepreneurship. I'm not sure if that's the right name, but that's a program that is business development using AI tools and strategies and ChatGPT to develop that business. And I just proved that last weekend. Last weekend, guys, I sat in my bed and I decided I wanted to use ChatGPT to build an online business from scratch, as if I knew nothing. And I wanted to build a little boutique. I wanted to do drop shipping and print on demand because I wanted to show you guys how to do that. And I went on ChatGPT. It decided on the title. It decided on the logo. It created a logo for me. It decided on the strategy of which products I was going to get. I mean, within 3 hours, I had a completely built business. And I just had to go and hire the guy to do the Shopify store and do this and do that. And I'm going to create this within the next 3 weeks and launch. And then we'll see what happens. But if it does do well, it is totally a ChatGPT creation from beginning to end. So anyone who tells me, oh, ChatGPT is going to steal all these jobs. No, people, use it. It's a great tool. Embrace it with both arms and just run with your imagination and let it build all these things for you, right? Okay. So,
well, and I want to say too, you were talking about the tools in the membership, and
yeah,
there's a ton of stuff. And if somebody's like me, they kind of get overwhelmed sometimes with all the stuff. And the beautiful thing with having all that there is if we turn to you and say, I have this question, like just the other day, I wanted to turn on the newsletter aspect on LinkedIn. And so I told you, I was like, hey, I need help with this. And you were able to direct me and, say, okay, here's something for that. And so it's a lot of information in there, and you're not necessarily like, if you're like me, you're not going to go through and like study everything beginning of the site to the end. You're going to be able to have that when I turn to you and say, hey, I have this question. Hey, I need the support, and be able to say, okay, there's something in the membership for that. Here's where to find it. And so that's the beautiful thing too, is it's there when you need it. If you want to go and like read and study and take courses and things like that within the membership, you can, but it's there when you need it in your business to get to that next level, to take that action. So I think that's one of the really cool pieces of it, is all of that knowledge is in there. And when we need that, you can direct us to it. So.
Yeah, it's like it's like a database of teaching. And it's there so that if you guys come up to me and say, I'm working on this weekend, what do we got? Well, go here. Here's the link. Go there. Or here's the challenge. Because challenges I find are easier for people to comprehend because they're meant to build. 1 week builds on the next. So if somebody comes to me and says, oh, I don't know, what's a customer journey, or how do I build my offers for that? I'm going to direct them to that challenge, that monthly challenge, and then they can go through the actions and create all that. So it's a way to teach that really resonates with people that are action driven. Here's what you study, but here's the action. Here's what this is, but here's the action, right? Because I have to put things into action to learn them. I can't read them. I can't listen. I have to do. Doing makes me absorb. So if anybody else is like that, then that's why I'm trying, even in the Mastering AI Entrepreneurship, in that program, I used visual teaching with all kinds of different infographics and different things like that. And then I did some reading, but I also did a whole bunch of action items and prompts and chat GPT prompts to put into action. So I could appeal to all the different learning patterns that people have. If you're not like, you're more action, you'll go with the action steps. The other one is more visual, all this writing. It's like, what is this? But they look at that picture and they automatically absorb. It's like, oh, yeah, I understand. Right. So that's kind of how I try to appeal to everybody so that they learn, because that's the purpose of it, right? So we'll finish off. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I want to ask you what you're doing, where we're doing, what the next couple of years looks like for you. But this is the part where you're kind of giving me a little bit of a testimonial, let's say, of for anyone sitting on the fence about joining our program and starting their own entrepreneurial journey, what's the advice or insight that you would give them to convince them that this is the program for them?
I would say it's for anyone. And, like I touched on, for me, it's beneficial because it is very, do this, do this, do this. And I'm one where it's like, okay, tell me what to do and I'm going to go do it. And I would say it's for any entrepreneur that wants that community, that wants that, okay, let's talk, let's get the map, the big picture. Now let's take the big picture and break it down into steps, and let's take those steps together and let's celebrate those steps as we go. And, even if you don't have the business idea yet, you're a great person to help them figure out what that is, what that looks like, what is successful in the world, and, maybe different streams of income. So it's not just one stream.
Yeah.
And so I would say, yeah, it's for anybody that's in the entrepreneur space that what maybe wants to get out of a job or out of a situation into the entrepreneur world, or has a business like me that was already established and wanted that actionable support and being able to grow the business and being able to share with you, like I did, this is what I've done, this is what worked, this is what didn't work, this is what felt good, this is what didn't, and being able to take that and grow it and be able to be more successful and feel like you're driving it, not it driving you and
Mhm.
other people and things like that. So, yeah. So I think it's great for anybody, no matter where you are on the spectrum of an entrepreneur life and running a business. And it's like you said, we're those that are in the membership are in different industries, but it works. And
Yeah.
I learn things from others. Like you said,
Yeah.
referenced with the person that's running the blog. I learn things from what you tell her. So it's really neat to have in the community and your support and just the whole thing, like everything that you've created and facilitate for us.
I get a lot of pushback on the fact that there's only one membership. It's the annual membership, and it's $1,200. What do you understand why I've done that, and what's your opinion on that? Because I'm going to tell what I think, but what's your opinion on that?
The great thing with that is there's the commitment up front. You get far more if you put yourself into it, you do the work, you show up for the calls, you utilize the message option, you get so much more, like, than what the monetary investment is. And so it's minor when you look back. Like when I look back at the time that I've been in there and the money that I invested, and like I said, I've invested money in other areas, and I can't say that I've gotten the same return on investment. And so it's nominal in comparison to the over giving that you do as the coach. So yeah, it's nominal in comparison.
And I want to tell people the reason why I decided to do that, because I've been approached by a lot of people, and they're like, I would do it, but I can't afford it, or I would do it, but I want a monthly. And I'm like, this is my reason for doing what I'm doing. First of all, I have a very tight knit community, right? And if I'm going to take the time and space and effort to help you along the way, and you're going to come into my program for a month and disrupt that because you're now taking some of my attention away from my group for yourself, which I have no problem with. But then after 30 days, you're going to say, not for me. And you're going to leave. Now, to me, that's more of a distraction than anything else. You weren't serious and you weren't committed. So for the reason of that is why I've done the 1 year plan for the amount. It's $100 a month. If you can't put $100 a month in your career, in your personal development or professional development or your business, then you're not ready to be in business, number one, and you're not committed. But for me, it's more the time frame, because it takes like 2 to 3 months to just gauge where you want to go. Because you may want, like when we start, I create this blueprint, but that blueprint is dynamic, right? Because I've had a few of my guys that went like this, and then, oops, we evolved, and they realized that maybe I don't want that. I want this. So the first 3 to 4 months, it's a sort of a transformation, evolution, learning new skills and all that. And it's at the 4th or 5th month that you really decide, okay, I know what I want now. And then the next couple of months are about the technology and putting everything together and building your business and building your offers and building your customer avatars. And then at the 8th or 9th month, you're launching. Now you're out there. Now you're driving your business. So it does take 12 months. I don't care what anybody says. It takes at least 10 to 12 months to really build something from scratch, and to really get it out there and start earning, not just earning money from it, but really owning it, stepping into the role, stepping in the 2.0 version of yourself and your business, right? So that's kind of why I want to do that, because I want to attract serious, committed people that are committed to themselves and respectful of others. Because when you come into a community and you start grabbing the attention and the energy of the coach from other people that are very dedicated and committed, that's not fair if you're not, right? So that's kind of why I'm doing that. So we are going to end this with, what's up with you? What are you doing in the next? Where do you see? First of all, I'm going to change the thing at the bottom. So guys, if you want to reach Mary Louise, you'll see her Facebook group, right? I know you can't, I bet you can't copy and paste this stuff, but keep watching. Just take pictures of it. Take a picture of it with your phone or something as it goes. Oh, look at that. It stopped. How weird is that? See, after an hour, it does this. What is going on?
You're still here. I can hear you. I just can't see you.
And we're frozen. See, I told you after an hour.
Yeah, now it's refreshing.
Is it?
Your screen, your little screen. But I can still see me, and it says you're in the show.
Okay.
Everyone can see and hear me.
Everything went white now. Oh, we're back. Are we back?
We're back.
Okay, guys, I don't know why it does that, but after an hour, StreamYard just goes berserk and this happens. So sorry. StreamYard took a little detour. So, guys, if you want, like I was saying, if you want to connect with Mary Louise, just take a picture of what's the little ticker at the bottom there. You'll have her coaching place, you'll have her face group, her Instagram, and she also has something right now that is downloadable. So if you want to, join her community as well, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that, but you can download her morning routine makeover. And take a picture of that particular link that is going down there, input that into the search engine, the browser, and then connect with her, get on her email list so that she can give you some wonderful advice about wellness. And I'm leaving it to you, girl. So you tell me what the next 12 months to 14 months looks like for you.
So with your help and assistance, I am creating my webpage. And so super excited to get that up and going in the next month or two. And just, now thanks to the content planner and having that plan for the rest of this year, being able to more easily show up in all the places. And LinkedIn is a big place for me, as well as Facebook. That's where I am connected to a lot of people in my area, my local area. I'm also on Instagram, and just excited to be able to share more and get people closer to me, and being able to show them what it is that I teach my clients and how I help them, but also the invitation to work with me. If you need that accountability, like I turn to you for in business, if they need that in their health journey, of somebody that's going to say, okay, I'm going to help you be accountable. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to, be just a message away when you have that challenge, that struggle. And when you've tried something and you found that it didn't work, we're going to regroup and say, okay, what about trying this? What about doing that? Did that work? Did that feel good? Because, with health, we get one body, we have one life, we need to take care of it, and it will take care of us. So, my goal and my passion in my health coaching is to help people take the best care of the one body they have, to have longevity, to have a good life, to feel good in their body, to have mobility when they get to be a senior and their lifespan, and they go to fall, that they're going to be able to catch themselves better and not fall and have that injury happen. And that starts now, whatever age you're at now, and goes forward and just continues. And so that's my desire and my goal in my coaching, is to give that information and to share that passion, but also have that invitation of, if you need support, if you need somebody to link arms with you, that's going to be there, that's going to show up, that's going to be that support, like you are for me. I want to be that for them on their health journey. And like I said in the beginning, it's more than just dieting and looking at what you're eating. It's more than just exercise and going to the gym and dreading this workout class that maybe you don't enjoy. And there are people that enjoy them, but maybe that's not your jam. Maybe that's not what you want to do for exercise. That's okay. There's more options. There's other things you can do. You can do multiple things. Those that follow my stories and my journey, they see that some days it's yoga for me. Some days I'm lifting weights. Some days, like today, I'm jumping on my stationary bike and I'm cycling. I have variety. I don't expect my clients to do one thing all the time either. And the same thing with like nutrition. If you want to eat a cookie or have a slice of cake, have it. Just don't have it every day, because then you're going to sabotage what you're doing. But it's real life. It's easy, it's simple, and I want to be able to help support people, and those that need that coaching support and that person to be there for them. I want to be able to be that person too. And so that is my goal in the next year, the next multiple years, is just to be able to show up and to remind people, when you're ready, when you need somebody, think of me, turn to me, let me help you. And it's not because I want to make millions. Yeah, money's nice. But the bigger thing for me is being able to help people live healthier and have better quality of
Of
life
life.
and age better. So that's my goals and desires. And, again, to be that person that people think of when they think of health and when they think of holistic, not just one area or one thing, when they're
The
wanting to
trifecta.
do, yes, and being able to be the best version of themselves. So, yeah.
And I'll
And
and I'll
continuing to
I'll
work with you
second
too, of course.
I'll second that, guys, is that you can be as successful as you want, um, and make as much money as you want. As you were talking, I'm thinking of Steve Jobs from Apple, right? Guy had millions. He still died because he got cancer and he wasn't taking care of himself and he was working too hard and he was doing all kinds of things. So, and personally, I've gone through the cancer journey and it stops you in your tracks. So, no matter how much success or how successful you want to be, health and wellness should be your number one top priority because, like you said, you only have one body, and if you don't look after it, if you don't take care of it, and it seems to always be at the bottom of, I always tell you, I'm your target audience, and until you get me straightened out, right? Once you do that, you'll have a winning program for sure. But it again, it's that should be top priority. So I know that you are, because you were just saying that you've got your content together. So I know that you're going to be producing weekly a LinkedIn newsletter. So for guys, everybody, you should at least connect with Mary Louise on LinkedIn and join that newsletter. And also download like I said, take a picture. I know you can't copy and paste, but don't be lazy. Take a picture of whatever ticker's going at the bottom there and connect on all her social media, but also connect on her email. So download that, was it the morning makeover mastery or something like
Morning
that?
routine makeover.
There you go. So download that. Number one, everybody needs a morning makeover. I know I do. And download that because then you'll automatically be on her email list. And I know that she is planning an email newsletter that's going to rock your socks off. It'll give you tips, it'll give you tricks, and it'll come with the website's coming. The website's going to have all kinds. It's going to have, I think you're going to have access to all kinds of different exercise programs and different nutritional programs. I mean, it's going to blow your mind. So you don't want to miss out on that. So you definitely want to join anything or connect with her in any way so that you are aware of what's going on and what's coming in the pipeline for Mary Lou. Louise. I keep calling you Mary Lou because you're so fun and makes you feel like a Mary Lou. You probably hate that too.
No, not at all. It's fine.
No. I get that song playing in my head, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, thank you immensely. I so enjoyed. I hope everybody enjoyed this. It was so much fun. I just love you. I love being part of your journey. I love pushing you when I need to, and I love those texts in the middle of the night telling me that you've destroyed one of your obstacles, and you're so happy and you're so excited about what you've accomplished. It makes me feel good, super good. So thanks for being here. Thanks for doing the work. Thanks for winning. And till next month, maybe you'll come back next month because you'll be next month's winner. So thank you guys, everybody. Thank you, everyone that's here. And I do have one little thing before I go, before I forget, because there is an offer on the table here that could be beneficial. I do have this, guys, that I put in, that I created for today. Okay, if you want to join the membership, okay, the membership that we've been talking about all this time. So if you want to join that membership, again, take a picture. Just go to claudefurlong.ca, become a member. And today only, if you use the discount code P2B50, you get 50% off of the annual membership. So instead of $1,200, it's $600. If you don't do it, I cannot help you. I can't make it, like, I can't. I gave some away and they didn't show up. So I said, I'm never doing that again. So I'm not doing that. So if you're interested, there it is. I'm going to pass it one more time. Go to my website, claudefurlong.ca. Go to become a member at the top and click on become a member. Put today's online code, the discount code P2P50, and you'll get 50% off. Okay. And there's another thing that we were talking about as well, the content strategy master workbook that she's been talking about. If you go take a picture right now, because I know it's a long URL, but take a picture of that, go on there and click on that, download there, put the promo code TikTok Live 50, and again, you'll get 50% off. So it's a no-brainer, guys. If you want to move forward in your professional and personal development, you have to invest in yourself. So I'm there and I'll give you everything I have, but you have to take that first step, right? You have to commit. You have to be dedicated because, right, we're massive action takers. We're not winners. I'm going to finish with that. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for being here. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And have a great day, guys. Enjoy.